I want to take you guys through and show you the Wright brothers home that was moved here in 1937 by Henry Ford. We've got their bicycle shop right next door. And let's go in here and talk to the presenter, and he can tell us a little bit about it.
Here, I'll take you guys in front of Orville and Wright's house.
All right, Preston, what could you tell us about this place?
This is the original home of the Wright family. They lived here off and on for 40 years.
40 years.
This was considered their home. They left for a few months when their father was given an assignment. They rented it out and then they came back. So this was considered their home. Orville Wright and his sister Catherine were born upstairs.
Right upstairs.
Yeah. And Wilbur passed away upstairs in 1912 from typhoid.
Typhoid fever, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That was very common at the time.
He wasn't very old, was he?
He wasn't. No, he wasn't. But Orville lived a very long life. And he lived long enough to see the beginning of the space age.
Yeah.
He was still living when Chuck Yeager broke the sound barrier in his X-1 rocket plane.
Yeah.
It was a top secret project, but they let Orville know. You can imagine, I can only imagine what he thought when he heard that he, as the first real pilot, was aware that now they were having supersonic flights through the outer space in a
Yeah.
rocket plane.
What year was that?
That was 1948.
Wow.
And he
And the first successful flight was 1903, so
1903.
he was getting up there by that time.
That's right.
And Orville and Wilbur did all the woodwork in this home, correct?
They did. They had seasons when the bicycle shop was not busy. It was very cyclical.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were busy in the spring and summer and in the winter building, but in the fall they had extra time.
Yeah.
And they were never idle.
No, I bet not about like Henry Ford and Thomas Edison.
That's right.
Mine's always running 100 mile an hour.
So they spent a lot of time and effort remodeling the inside of this house. They redid the stairwell. They built the cherry wood.
They did all the spindles themselves and everything,
That's
didn't
right.
they?
And the carving.
The carving.
Hand carved by Wilbur and Orville Wright.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was all hand carved by Orville and Wilbur Wright. Think about that the next time you get on an airplane. They didn't just build airplanes. They were very talented. Look at that detail. And this is them two sitting on the back porch right here, isn't it?
That's right. This was taken a year after their first successful airplane flight when they became famous.
And they built the porch on the house themselves too, right?
They did. They added the wraparound porch, along with putting in new windows, and it was just a very, very nice home to live in.
Yeah, it definitely was.
They lived here with their father and their sister Catherine. Their mother had passed away at an early age, so Catherine was the lady of the house.
And this is their father,
Yeah, Milton Wright,
Milton.
and that's their mother.
What was her name?
That was
mom's
Susan
name was
Corner
Susan.
Wright. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's good.
She was the one that had the mechanical abilities. She had grown up as the daughter of a German cabinet maker,
Ah,
and she grew up around machinery.
so she taught the boys everything.
And if anything needed to be fixed in the house, they'd go to mother.
Yep, yep.
They said that father couldn't hardly pound a nail in straight, but mother could fix anything.
And this is them with their sister Catherine.
That's right. This is during their tour around the world when they were demonstrating their airplane to the dignitaries throughout Europe. She was very crucial to their success in a lot of different ways. She was their ambassador. They were naturally a little bit shy. She was very outgoing and friendly, and so she would be the one that would introduce her brothers to the emperors and the presidents in Europe.
Yeah. And I didn't know till today, as many times I've been here, they had two older brothers,
Yes, Rushlin and Laura.
Rushlin and Lauren.
Yeah, they both married and moved away. Lauren eventually came back to Dayton and worked with the Wright brothers helping in their cycle shop, and he was also their publicist.
Wow. And then this is a letter home from Kitty Hawk.
Yeah, that's a
Sent-
copy of the telegram.
letting them know that they had a successful flight.
Yes, that December 17th, 1903. Success, 4 flights, Thursday morning.
Wow. And a lot of this furniture is original to the home too, correct?
That's right, especially this that you see in the parlor.
Henry Ford was purchasing this stuff from the woman that lived here, correct?
A lot of the furniture.
Before even the home was moved here.
Orville donated a lot of the things you see here.
Oh, Orville donated a lot of it.
Yeah, now that's Catherine's writing desk.
That's pretty cool.
And that's where Orville sat down one day and wrote a letter to the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C., requesting copies of whatever they had available on the science of flight to that point.
Oh.
Because I feel maybe I'll be able to contribute some bit of information to that investigation, do something worthwhile.
So all of this furniture in here is original to the home?
As far as I know, yes. At least the desk is, the watercolor, the rockers, the sofa.
Even the ceilings are wallpapered.
Yes, that was the style of the time.
How many-
Anything that didn't move got wallpaper.
Yeah. How many fireplaces are in the home?
We have this one and this one over here.
That one.
The mantelpieces were built by Wilbur and Orville Wright.
Wow.
They had gas lines in Dayton at that time. So they hooked up to the gas lines, so they had gas heat from the furnace or from the fireplace here and there. They had gas lights on the ceiling.
Chandeliers?
Yes, and a gas stove.
Well, you can see that, can't you?
You can see the knob at the bottom where they
Uh-huh.
turn the gas on. So that was a very nice modern convenience to have gas lighting and gas heating.
Yeah. I've been upstairs a couple times. They have it open once or twice a year. How many rooms are up there?
They have the bedrooms up there.
Is it
There's
4
a master
bedrooms?
bedroom and then 3 smaller bedrooms.
Yeah, 4 bedrooms. I've been up there once or twice. That's only open
And they open at special
once or
times.
once or twice a year.
Uh-huh. This is the parlor.
Yeah.
This is where they would meet together and have their family gatherings.
And then
Cabinet there,
this cabinet here.
that's full of books, the actual books that belong to Bishop Wright. He,
Oh yeah, their father was a bishop.
That's right. He
Yeah,
encouraged them
this guy
to
here.
be knowledgeable of everything they could. You'll find books in there, poems by Milton. You'll find a 3-volume history of France. You'll find books on mathematics.
And these are all original books that belong to Milton Wright.
Most of them are. In fact, some
Yeah.
of them have their names written inside the cover.
Wow.
Some of the books, that he donated, if they were in deteriorated conditions that couldn't be used, they would find another way to use. Most of those are the ones that belong to the bishop.
So well then what's this next room here? Is this a dining room?
That's right. This is where they have their meals. And when Wilbur and Orville announced by telegram that they were coming home from their first successful flight, Catherine, their sister, arranged to have a special celebration dinner here. All of their special foods.
Yeah.
They'd been camping out at Kitty Hawk for 3 months.
Wow.
Eating camp food, fighting ticks and fleas and
Yeah.
sand. And now she had this big celebration dinner waiting for them. They were so happy to be home. It was
Yeah.
a great December. And they promised their father they'd be home for Christmas, and they just made it.
Yeah.
The pantry, you can see through the doorway there. There's a green water pump.
Yeah, I see that pump back in there.
They installed that so that their mother would be able to pump water into the pantry without going out to the well. The kitchen is just through the doorway, and you can see through the screen
through the
door on
windows.
the porch. See
Yeah.
we had an ice chest and a pie saver
Yeah.
and the gas stove.
They didn't get too fancy with this woodwork, huh?
That looks like the kind that would have come with the home originally.
Yep. Yeah, what year did they remodel it? Um, nine,
It was
1897 maybe, it
yes, around
said.
that time.
Yeah.
They had a lot of photographs of some of the rooms, like the parlor there.
Mhm.
Other rooms there were no photographs, but they had a niece, Ivanette, who had spent a lot of time here with her father, and she remembered the colors of the wallpaper and the carpets.
Yeah.
So she was a big help in restoring this to the way it looked.
So Henry Ford and Orville worked together to get this and the bicycle shop here into Greenfield Village.
You know, Wilbur had passed away.
Wilbur. So
Orville
Orville did.
was
Yeah,
still
Orville.
alive.
Yeah.
He's the one that was very instrumental in getting it here.
Right.
This and the bicycle shop.
Right. And they weren't next door in Dayton, correct? That you say they were
That's correct. They were
4 blocks away.
If you go to Dayton today, you'll see the lot where this was located. They have a kind of a facade with a
Sort of a
porch that you can see where the house is located.
yeah.
And then if you go 4 blocks away, you'll see a big vacant lot where the cycle shop used to be.
Yeah. See, they did something similar like that. I'm from Southern Illinois and Lincoln, Illinois, where the courthouse here in Greenfield Village came from that President Lincoln taught in.
Yes.
You know, there was an argument over whether or not Henry Ford could move that, and he did it anyway. And now there's a replica up there built like that. The original's here in Greenfield Village.
There was resistance when they found out that Henry Ford was going to remove the courthouse.
Yeah.
So he made one of his rare personal appearances to meet with the community and to address their concerns.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I sympathize with the fact that you really don't want to lose it. When you think about it, the Greenfield Village will be able to restore it to its perfect condition forever. It'll be a memorial to your village and to Mr. Lincoln.
Yeah.
Millions of people will be able to visit it here.
Oh,
Or if
yeah.
it stays there, it was decaying, it was falling apart.
Right.
It'll be gone in a few years and only a few people will really see it.
Right.
But for the most good, for the most number of people, it's good to bring it here.
Yeah.
So they agreed to go ahead and sell it. So Mr. Ford's team hurriedly took it apart and brought it to Greenfield Village. And the courthouse became one of the first homes, not a home, but the first building.
One of the first buildings here.
To be opened at Greenfield Village.
Mm-hmm.
The first one to light the fire and restore the fireplace was President Herbert Hoover
Wow.
in 1929.
Wow. That's pretty neat.
So this was a way of preserving buildings.
Yeah, there's so much history here. It's just no one can grasp it till they come see it themselves.
You see the shed in the back.
Yep.
And that's where the Wright brothers had their photography equipment at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They were excellent photographers, and they took a photographic record of everything they were doing. So that's where the photograph was developed of that first flight taking off.
Yep.
They had to wait until they got all the way back to Dayton,
To develop it.
yeah, to find out if they'd even taken the picture.
Yeah,
Because they
yeah.
weren't sure. The man who was supposed to take the picture said he didn't know if he took it or not because he got so excited he didn't remember clicking the shutter. So they had to wait, and it developed, and it came just perfect. It became one of the most important photos in the history of aviation. It was developed in that shed.
Yeah. It was great, you know, celebrating all that, because their first flight was 1903 too, wasn't it?
1903.
Yeah, and and Harley Davidson was 1903, so I was up here for Ford Motor Company's 100th anniversary celebration in 2003, and that's when I learned that all this stuff was being celebrated at the same time.
Yes.
There's a lot going on in America at that time.
Wasn't that an exciting time to
Could you
live?
imagine seeing all the tech? You've got these technology in your hand now with a cell phone and stuff, but back then, what was going on, all this. And now America does none of that. It's so sad.
It was a time of great innovation
Yeah.
in America.
Henry Ford, in my opinion, basically single-handedly built the middle class.
Because of
The Model
industry.
T. Yeah. I mean, he started the industrial boom. you know, with the Model T.
Yeah.
You know, steel exploded, rubber exploded with Harvey Firestone. You know, gas and oil exploded. You know, it just everything what that Model T did for America
Right.
and the working class,
and people,
and set the groundwork for many factories.
That's right. And people could make a good living working in the factories.
Mhm.
If they could endure the working on the assembly line, they could make.
Well, but that's what that $5 workday did. You know, people was leaving, and he gave them an incentive to stay, and it worked.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's a lot of companies nowadays that need to take note of that.
Good point.
Yeah. Well, Preston, I really appreciate you talking with us today
Well, thank
and
you.
explaining a lot.
It's
So,
been nice meeting you and talking with you.
yeah, I really appreciate it. And look us up on Tony's Car Care YouTube, and we'll share it with the world.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
As we walk out here, I'll put this up against here so you guys can see into the kitchen. Now we'll walk around here to the bicycle shop next door. Okay, so we'll walk around the corner here. You see that home there? That is the home of the guy that invented all the condiments, the Heinz, H.J. Heinz. If you next time you're eating some Heinz ketchup or relish or something like that, that's where it's all started, in that basement. And then here's the bicycle shop of the Wright brothers that was moved here from Dayton, Ohio by Henry Ford with the help of Orville, along with the house. See, and like the guy said, they were 4 blocks away, but Henry Ford wanted to put them right next door to each other just to keep the history there. And this is where all the pieces for the Wright Flyer, that actually for the first successful flight in Kitty Hawk, pieces of that airplane were put together here and then shipped down to Kitty Hawk. I probably won't do much talking in here, but I'll walk you through. A lot of people in here.
What's in there? Oh, that he was. I didn't know. That's right. He created the plane.
Actually, the sand dunes.
Right there's his plane.
The Wright brothers.
Yeah. I didn't know they did a bicycle.
That's how they started.
Yeah.
I didn't get to pay attention to the street bus. You should, it's more reason for you than me, guys.
I'm sorry.
So folks, you go this way, that's the room where the plane parts were built. When you look in there, there's a middle section of the wing, that's the middle part of the wing there. And everything that's on that plane was made in this building except for the cloth. Everything was made right here in the building.
Very cool. Thank you.
You're welcome, folks, thank you.
Excuse me, are these some wings?
That is the middle section of the wing. That's how it looked, that would look like without the skin on it. And all that was handmade by Orville, Wilbur, and their machinist Charles Taylor. The only thing
This
was-
is their bicycle shop that they closed up. They kept the building, but they stopped working on bicycles and focused way more on the airplane. And look what it did for us.
And that was how it was, actually, when they were here.
Old sprockets.
But they didn't have to worry about disturbing the papers.
There you go. They could make all the noise they
They
wanted.
making all the noise they wanted.
But what happens if the neighbors, never mind.
Yeah, but if the neighbors weren't.
I mean, I can just see a bandsaw and a lathe
Well,
going
it's
on.
really interesting because, what was this company, somebody, they don't get bombed.
So everything for that first flight in Kitty Hawk was built here except the cloth. It was all built in this building, as the man said.
But they never put it all together because it was too small.
Took it in pieces to
Yeah, they
Kitty
took it in
Hawk.
pieces to Kitty Hawk.
Yep.
I'm a guide at the Air and Space Museum in Washington.
Oh, really? Well, that's a cool place.
I'm so sorry.
So here we are in the backyard of the Wright brothers' home and bicycle shop, Greenfield Village, Dearborn, Michigan. I just wanted to give you guys a little run through and show you some more of the great history that's up here. If you've never been here, please come check it out. You don't know what you're missing. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.